Good evening. Well, really, good night. Welcome to a kind of late night edition of the Houston Roundball Review presents Folks Talking Sports. I am, of course, KG, the owner of the Houston Roundball Review. We're going to talk some football, college football, Big 12 football with Miss Kennetra Pulliams from Big 12 now on ESPN Plus. I'm going to talk about Dana Holgorsen and his excuses that he continues to make, and his teams are just first half teams because they don't have depth. So why bother showing up in the second half? Apparently, that's how Dana Holgorsen coaches. That's what he believes. So hopefully, at some point, the administration will realize he's not the right man for this job, and they will replace him with someone else. I doubt that'll happen anytime soon, unfortunately. But that's for Mr. Paycheck, Mr. Friend of Holgorsen, Tilman J. Fertitta to decide, which would be nice if there were some other wealthy backers to step in and take over and tell President Couture, Chris Pesman, yeah, this man's got to go. How much does it cost? He's got to go. Instead of waiting on Tilman to do anything, because if it's relying on Tilman, Dana's not going anywhere. And if Dana's not going anywhere, then neither is the Houston Cougars football program for as long as he's in charge. And that's what Tilman needs to open his eyes and realize, accept. Chris Pesman, I don't know what power Chris Pesman has, and Chris Pesman drops the ball with marketing and things of that sort as well. But for anybody wondering, Kennetra Pulliams is in studio. She'll be joining me momentarily to talk about the KU Longhorn football game, which the Longhorns won going away Saturday afternoon. Big 12 has, I think, 3 2-0 teams in conference play. 2 of them are not a surprise, Texas and Oklahoma. The third one is West Virginia. West Virginia won on the road, beat TCU by 3 points Saturday. Coach Neil Brown, he told everybody at Media Day, he was adamant. Of course, most coaches will say this, but I guarantee you we will not be in last place. That's what he said at Media Day. They will pick last preseason poll by the media. He basically told all of us, you guys are going to be wrong, and we're going to prove it. So far, it's 2-0, and the head coach he replaced, his team is 0-2 in the Big 12. And he makes excuses left and right about lack of depth and we just wear down. We wore down in the second half. This is Big 12 football. On and on and on. Contrast that to Gus Malzahn, UCF. And they blew a huge lead and lost to Baylor. Baylor outscored them 29-0 to win by a point. Gus Malzahn, we need to do better. This loss will hurt. We need to do better. We'll get better. Not a lack of depth. Not any of that. We're going to get better. We're going to correct the mistakes, and we're going to improve. And the goal is to not make this loss lead into another loss. Well, Mr. Holgorsen's press conference, his weekly press conference on Mondays, won't take place tomorrow, October 2nd, because the Cougs are in a bye week. So his next press conference will be October 9th on a short week. And of course, that short week, lo and behold, the Thursday matchup will be against West Virginia. So Dana Holgorsen and the Cougs host West Virginia on Thursday in the Cougs blackout game. 6 p.m. start on a Thursday in H-Town. I want the Astros to be playing playoff game in town. If that's the case, won't be anybody at that game at TDECU Stadium. Without further ado, I'm going to bring in the queen of Big 12 now on ESPN Plus, my colleague, Miss Kennetra Pulliams.
Hey, Kris, how you been?
I'm great. How are you? Good to see you.
Great to be seen.
Well, it's always good to be seen. Well, not always. It depends on the circumstances. I want to get. Were you at the game? Did you cover the game, the KU game?
No, I didn't travel this week. No.
Okay. What was Coach Leipold's response, reactions after the loss to the Longhorns?
He, in his words, he was disappointed but not discouraged.
Did he decry a lack of depth or anything of that sort? His reasons for the loss?
Nope. Didn't. No. I mean, because the main question is like, when did you know that Jalen Daniels wasn't available. That was like the main thing,
Yeah.
depth. It's like, they knew Texas was big and they knew Texas had depth and Texas had experience. But, when you don't have your starting quarterback and then your backup quarterback, Jason Bean, who, has had enough starting experience, whether it was at North Texas or at KU, it wasn't like he was immediately thrown in untested. He said he found out about 30 minutes before
Oh, wow.
that he was going to start. So he hadn't practiced. And he said, Coach Leipold said that there's a certain responsibility upon everybody, especially, your number two at whatever position, to do the mental reps, to kind of lessen the learning curve so that when you are next man up, that you are prepared. But according to, Coach Leipold, he said he didn't really find out what had happened. He said all week long, Jalen was taking the majority of the number one reps, and it was during the walkthrough at the hotel Saturday morning is when he re-aggravated this lingering back issue that first kind of flared up the first day of fall camp back August 7th, which he was very limited during fall camp. That's why Jason Bean started the season opener. And then Jalen has played subsequently since then. But then, something triggered it to where he wasn't available at all. They thought that maybe that the trainers and the medical staff could kind of do some treatment, some work on him, and maybe throughout the course of the game he would be available, but that wasn't the case.
So I guess in a sense, this is a lingering injury issue.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I don't know, because first they're like shoulder and they're like back. And so, I mean, granted, the back of your shoulder is still your back. So I'm not, they're very tight-lipped, just about the severity, what exactly, back tightness. Okay, is it a pinched nerve? Is it a herniated disc? I mean, like, what exactly is this back issue that has, affected him for the better part of 2 months?
Well, shifting gears from a Coug fan perspective, Coug fans are really looking forward to this bye week because the team won't lose. And they won't have to listen to Dana Holgorsen make up excuses for why they don't have depth in the second half, apparently. Even though he is a man who put this roster together. And as a fan pointed out on X yesterday, Dana Holgorsen said 4 years ago, the reason to redshirt all the players was to establish and create depth. That was 4 years ago. Yet 4 years later, you're still saying there's a problem with depth? Okay, Dana, just keep cashing those checks, man. You just keep doing that, drinking your Red Bull and vodka, and you do you, Dana. You keep doing you. Without Jalen, what were your thoughts on how KU did against the Longhorns, and how impressed, if at all, are you with the Longhorns football team so far?
They've been playing angry, because just the words from the commissioner, and other teams and fans who will continue to be in the Big 12 beyond this season. So yeah, there's a target, both on Oklahoma and Texas, and so it's like they say, embrace the hate, and so they're doing such. But the fact that they do have the experience, even though KU never said that the heat was a factor, you do think with the amount of time, if you look at time of possession and how heavily slanted it was towards the Longhorns, and coming into the game, KU number one in the country on third down conversions. They went 0 for 8, so they weren't able to sustain drives. Therefore, their defense was on the field a lot. So your defense is getting a lot of work. They're undersized. They don't have as much depth in the Texas heat, mid-afternoon in September, where it's mid-90s on the turf. Maybe add 10 more degrees. So I think all of those factors, played a part in the outcome of the game, and just the way that Texas was able to run the ball effectively. And yeah, it was close for 2.5 quarters, and then Texas was able to assert its will. But yeah, Texas being able to run the ball so many different ways. When you have a quarterback who can run, and then you're able to have pop a big play, and they can't stop the run, so that opens up the passing game as well. And so Texas was able to kind of mix and match the offense and be balanced in that regard. Whereas KU really wasn't able to. They started off well, with the RPO, and even the first touchdown was a fortunate, literally a fortunate bounce, in the RPO, with Jason Bean. But it seemed like he never got comfortable at quarterback. His throws were kind of off target. Making the right read. I still don't quite understand on the 4th and inches why he was lined up in the shotgun.
Oh, I was going to ask you. That's a Holgorsen thing. So
I don't know why. I don't know why Devin Neal, your number one back, wasn't in the game at that point. I don't know why Daniel Highshaw was. And number two, I don't know why they were lined up in the shotgun. If you're 4th and a foot, and Jason's a good runner, and Jason's long and lanky, like, fall forward, like, get enough, trust your offensive line, which you return all but one player on that offensive line. So it's not like it's some like new grouping or new collection of players. Fall forward and do your Jalen Hurts and like get your foot, and and then you're able to sustain a drive.
Push him in the butt.
And not only that, it was a miscommunication on who was going to take, who was going to give between he and Daniel Highshaw. Subsequently, it was not only did they not get the first down, they fumbled the ball. Texas recovered deep in their own territory, and then was able to immediately score a touchdown right after that. So I think that was a huge momentum shift in the outcome of the game.
Was Coach Leipold asked about that play call, that decision right there after the game? Okay, that's strange.
Nope.
Sometimes coaches in any sport just overthink it. I mean, I don't know. They're trying to prove themselves, be smarter than everybody else.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if that was like a Andy Koltnicki, the offensive coordinator. I don't know if that was his call. I'm not quite sure.
But regardless, 4th and a foot, 4th and a yard, 4th and inches. The Cougs do it. Have done it. They did it yesterday. It didn't work in a shotgun. Fans are baffled, irate. Why are you doing 4th and a yard in a shotgun? You got a quarterback who can get a yard himself. On and on. But you say Kansas did it. It doesn't make sense, especially now in today's football where the butt push is allowed.
Yeah.
So you can just have the quarterback line up under the center.
I mean, and it's not like Jason Bean is an immobile quarterback. He finished 3rd at the state track meet in Texas in the 100. So like the boy can run. He can burn.
Yeah.
So
coaches overthink it. I don't know. But let's see. Have you had a chance at all to scan your eyes down here to Houston and hear about the mess that is Dana Holgorsen and what he's doing here?
No. Enlighten me.
Fans are fed up with Dana Holgorsen. Bad thing is that he has the right small circle of people still supporting him.
Enablers?
Well, enablers, but I mean, one of the people is the guy who writes the checks.
Well.
So, I mean, I guess that is an enabler as well. But the excuses he makes are tired. Tossing his players under the bus after games is tired. The fans are tired of everything he says regarding, well, the scheme was good. Our guys just didn't do what they're supposed to do. The running back didn't do this right, or on and on. And then yesterday, after the loss for the second straight second half against a Big 12 opponent, the Cougs scored 0 points in the second half of a Dana Holgorsen-led team. Mr. Offensive Genius, the offensive guru that he's supposed to be. But the reasons for it, Kennetra, is because the team wore down. They wore out because of the lack of depth. It wasn't anything else. It was just a lack of depth.
So did he not hit the portal to get some experience, or did he not recruit well, or guys just young? Like
Well, his young
what?
players, he barely plays. He plays with like one freshman, and that's it. Parker Jenkins, running back, who disappeared in the third quarter. We didn't know what happened to him. He came back in the fourth quarter, but he missed most of the third quarter.
So like what's the tone in his weekly press conference?
It varies. After losses, it's gloom and doom. It's we lack depth. We're mistake filled. We make too many mistakes. My players, this he pick a position, pick a player. He didn't do what he was supposed to do on this play.
Not
He didn't do
like
this.
I need or
No,
our coaches need to prepare our players better.
he gets to that afterwards, like later on in the pressers. But the first part of the presser is we're not deep enough. We just don't have the depth. And oh yeah, Clezell Taylor with a great comment. I forgot about this. He said Dana said this after the game Saturday. The other team wanted it more than we did. They needed the win. He said that. Like the Cougs are not trying to pick up their first Big 12 win, but Texas Tech, they wanted it more. It was more important. And one of his lazy answers, well, they have coaches too. They get paid too. They get paid to coach too. They have good coaches.
So
Okay.
you and your staff aren't good?
Well, clearly they're not. Apparently, I mean, he says it. He says it all the time. It makes you wonder what he's thinking about. Some folks believe he's just cashed out. He's just checked out. He's getting those checks. He's good.
How long does the contract run?
Too long, like 3 more years, I think. I think the buyout's like $14, $15 million, something like that. And Miss Wanda was a loyal UH follower and supporter. Earlier offseason, July, August, he said the team had depth. And now they don't have depth.
What changed?
Dana changed.
Did somebody hit the portal already?
No. Dana's he's got the excuses built in because his enablers continue to allow him to get away with all these things.
With no accountability.
No accountability. I said it on all my platforms last night. And I'll say it here on Folks Talkin Sports if you haven't seen it on those platforms. It's way past time for the Houston decision makers to say to Dana, stop with we got worn down in the second half. We don't have the depth. You put together this roster. You figure it out. They need to say that. But unfortunately, I don't believe they're going to because they have so many other problems to deal with. And I'm not sure if this is going to be the worst loss. T.I. says this. The Cougs will probably lose to West Virginia on Thursday, October 12th. West Virginia's playing well.
In the Holgorsen Bowl?
In the Holgorsen Bowl, yes. Which the fans of West Virginia do not miss Dana at all.
I mean, especially, like supposedly, they were supposed to be looking for a new coach come next season, but things look good.
Yeah, Neil Brown is saving his job, and he's 2-0, and they beat the Cougs. I'm not sure if they play this Saturday. They could at minimum be 3-0 or 4-0 if they have a game this Saturday, but probably not because of a short week the following week. But who knows? Dana is he's getting paid the $4 million, $5 million a year. The buyout's like $15 million. That's a lot of money to most folks. It's not a lot of money if you're a billionaire. Especially if you're a billionaire who fired an NBA head coach who was well liked by most of his players, and seems like more and more come to find out he was undercut by his general manager. But I digress.
Are Cougs fans asking, is it basketball season yet?
Oh, Mike. Oh, yes. KP. Oh, yes. They did that after the loss to Rice. Yes. Yes. And you're from the area. UH football should not lose to Rice. Should not lose to Rice. And it was, what was it? I think 28-0 at one point in that game. The team, and this great answer from Coach Holgorsen Mr. Excuses. The team was down 28-0. The team fought back, forced overtime. Okay, going for the 2-point conversion to tie the game to send it to another extra session. Coach Holgorsen said in post game, we just didn't have the will to win.
So, like, why should your players want to play for you if you're saying basically they quit?
That's what I'm
Or they
beginning
don't
to
care.
wonder. And more alums are wondering if he's lost the locker room, because if the coach is saying you don't have the will to win, or you're not good enough to play, we don't have the depth to win in the second half. How many of the players are like, because after the Rice game, after those comments, Nelson Caesar was asked about his response to those comments. Oh, I disagree with that. No, we had the will to win. We just didn't get it done. I mean, but yes.
Quite like, and I'm not like being smart. Where's Kevin Sumlin right now?
Oh, some fans want Tom Herman. I'm not sure that would happen because of some of, but most fans want Dana gone.
Sure.
I think they'd be content with me and you head coaching instead of Dana Holgorsen. But yes, Miss Wanda says we are kind of the days until basketball. Yes.
I'm sorry, yeah. My football expertise is limited to playing intramural football. That's about it.
I'm glad you brought that up. I saw a picture, a post on your Twitter, on your X. I think it was in March of this year. You were participating, or you participated in a media March Madness competition kind of thing?
Yeah, during the Big 12 Women's Tournament.
Oh, please do tell.
It was just kind of a media showcase, and it was 3-point contest, free throw contest. It was all kind of all in one, and so it's just like there was a draft, and you just kind of pick your teams from here. Here's everyone who has volunteered to participate, and pick your teams. And so I picked.
You were the captain?
I guess I was the captain because I was the only one present.
Okay.
So it was just kind of like groups of three. And so I picked. She's former broadcaster at the CBS affiliate here. She's now communications director for the Kansas City Current NWSL team. Oops, sorry about that. Danny Welniak, and then I picked Todd Palmer, former print journalist for the Kansas City Star, and he's now assignment manager at the NBC affiliate here. So that was our team of three, our championship team of three.
Oh yes, I noticed that y'all were the champs. I saw that too. What did you do well to help the team win?
I picked my teammates correctly.
Oh, okay. Is this an annual thing?
We'll see. I mean, I think so. I mean, because I know they're just trying to get more interest, both from the fans as well as from the media for the Big 12 Women's Championship. And now that it'll move from Muni over to the T-Mobile Center the week preceding the men's tournament. So I do anticipate it coming back bigger and better.
I'm not going to say it, but part of me would like to participate in this.
Okay.
I have my skill level has declined immensely as my knees have gone away. But I'm not guaranteeing it, KP. Miss Wanda, T.I., Clizelle, watching.
I know the organizer, of the event, Brenda Van Langen.
Oh yes, I know Brenda.
Yes, and so Brenda was the one who helped to organize, orchestrate, and get it going. And so I will absolutely give your name to Brenda.
Oh, you don't have to, KP. Not just yet. You don't have to. You can forget about this segment completely right now. Just forget about it. Forget about everything I just said.
It's March. You got 6 months.
Just forget about it. Yeah. We'll see. We shall see. See, Clizelle wants to know who's the next up and coming coordinator. We are ready to hire them now. I'm telling you, Kook fans want Dana gone. They want him gone with the quickness. Yesterday, today, gone. You have anybody in mind? I like Sean Lewis from Colorado. Wouldn't that be something if he was hired to coach in the Big 12 against his former boss of a year?
Maybe not necessarily a coordinator, but like get somebody with head coaching experience, like Willie Fritz at Tulane.
I wanted that 2 years ago. I did. But what do I know? Oh, my goodness. Did you see? And thank you to everybody joining us on Facebook and YouTube. I'm speaking with Miss Kennetra Pulliams from Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus. She covers KU athletics, mainly the sideline reporting for KU, right? Pretty much in games, pre-game show, pre and post-game, right?
Pre-game, post-game, yeah.
So, especially during basketball season, you are going to see, you follow KU, you want to see some pre-game coverage of KU, you're going to see KP's face give you inside info about the Kansas Jayhawks. Women's team too?
No, not regularly. I did do sideline for the National Women and Girls Sports Day, the game against Texas. So it was just basically everyone affiliated with the broadcast was a woman.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah. Side directing, cameras, everything. So it was just kind of a special event, for that one. So yeah.
But the KU women's team is coming off a WNIT championship, right?
Correct.
So that'll be another team better than the Cougs women's team in the Big 12.
Yeah, but and then the fact that a lot of them are exercising their right, their that extra year of eligibility. We thought a lot of them were going to leave, and they said they're coming back. So late night is coming up next Friday to tip off the season.
Late night, is that for both squads?
Yep.
Will that be on Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus?
I think it will. I haven't seen the broadcast schedule because there's a lot of it that we can't show because of copyright, music wise.
Okay.
Because of copyright rules. But there's a scrimmage, there's a half court shot, for is it like $10,000? There's skits, there's dances, the cheerleaders perform, dance team, Rock Chalk dancers perform. You get to see kind of the personality of the players. Fundraiser, there'll be like Jayhawk Fan Fest going on, like kind of on the front lawn of Allen Fieldhouse all afternoon. So it's big, yeah.
An event like that, I would like to see the UH basketball team do something like that, especially now with Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus. And I've been very critical of UH marketing, UH athletics communications. They've gotten better slowly. They've gotten better with telling more of the stories of the student athletes.
Great.
My bad. The student athletes. The student athletes are telling the stories, even articles on the website, on the YouTube channel, different social media platforms. Basically, the other sports outside of men's basketball have finally realized the benefit of social media because men's basketball and Lawrence Sampson have done a great job with that for a while.
Yeah, because UH volleyball just played KU over the weekend. So,
and who won? Tell me, because I don't know.
KU won.
Okay.
But they played Friday and Saturday. So Friday, they went to 5 sets. So it was competitive. UH volleyball nationally ranked.
Oh yeah, that much I know. So, yes, unlike the football team. But I digress. Okay, who Clezel's saying? He wants an OC, similar Tom Herman kind of player. It's just there are options out there, legitimate options, viable options to be the next head coach for the Houston Cougars football team. But nothing will happen until Tilman Fertitta, and whoever is in that small circle of Dana Holgorsen defenders, because he still has some.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot, but he has the right ones in his corner.
You mean supporters?
Thank you. Supporters. That's even better. Supporters. Until they realize he's just not he's not the one. And here's my thought on this, and let me know if you agree or not. The football program is at the point where fans do not have hope that Dana is the right person for the job.
Mm-hmm.
So much so they're going to stop buying tickets, stop coming to the games. If they bring him back next season, UH will no longer have the banner of, hey, we're first year in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
We're bringing Dana back. So to be even less incentive for fans to spend their money on tickets. So at some point, they got to cut their losses.
What's average attendance?
So far this year, it's been, well, it was the last home game. It was announced as 30 plus thousand. For Houston at TDECU,
Mm-hmm.
the home game's been pretty good. 30 plus thousand. TCU was 38,000, almost 40,000. See, this Willie Gibson, I believe this is. Will knows. FOPs, friends of the program. That's what I couldn't think of. Friends of the program. That's what Dana has. He has it, and I need some other friends of the program to put the money together to get rid of him. But attendance so far, well, it was good. Starting Thursday on the 12th of October against West Virginia, a 6 p.m. kickoff, it won't be good.
Right.
Okay, it won't be good. And then the home game on the 21st against the Longhorns, it might be 80% burnt orange inside TDECU Stadium, which some UH people would be okay with that because, hey, the tickets were bought. But it was 80% Longhorns who bought them.
Right, because I mean, because Texas is not going to return its allotment. Then they'll buy up all those, and then they will go on the secondary market, and then
the ticket prices for a friend of mine sent me this yesterday. Some of the secondary market for the prices for West Virginia are as little as $5. $5, $6, $11.
But I mean, but like as you said, with the marketing, I mean, but you could spend that and just be like, hey, it's affordable family night. Bring them out. Package it all together. Hey, you can get 4 tickets and concessions and parking and da 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 for.
Kennetra. Gazelle says, season ticket holders where I sit are selling their tickets to the opposing fans. It's going to get worse the longer they keep him in charge.
Mm-hmm.
So the question has to be asked, how long are they going to have the sunk cost for Dana Holgorsen as the head coach? And recruiting is not going well either. Okay.
If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense.
And who is one of the head coaches coming into the Big 12 next year?
Prime? Coach Prime? You already said, we coming.
and I think and Utah has a strong football program.
Of course, yes.
Arizona's football program. Arizona State has the right head coach probably in charge. They got screwed with how the late decision to ban them from bowl this year, but they should be better next year, their first year in the Big 12. There are teams that look like on paper will be better than a Holgorsen-led UH football team in next year in the Big 12.
But they won't have to play Texas next year.
True, but they'll just lose to other teams in the Big 12 because they still won't have depth and they still have to play 4 quarters and they only good to play 2 quarters.
And they still have to have the will to win.
Right. So that's where we are with a Dana Holgorsen-led team. The hope is gone. The frustration and the angst is very high. I'm not making any friends over there at UH in communications. Not the first time, won't be the last time. I've been around longer than most of them been working over there. So it's okay there. Maybe that's the reason why. Never mind, I won't say all that. Anyway, this is really the assessment of the fan base. It's such a depressing reality for UH football. But here's some positive. 3 more games until Cougs basketball, because the Cougs exhibition game is October 28th. So football wise, get out of the way and focus on men's hoops. And here's the contrast, which really is another reason why I just don't understand UH decision makers. They have a great example on campus of a head coach who for a while has done more with less, is a leader who doesn't make excuses, and has made the program nationally relevant. But the football man makes excuses seemingly every time he opens his mouth, and they're okay with that. And they're okay with, Kenitra, did you know that Dana Holgorsen in Houston is one of 5 programs the last 2 years to win 20 games and 2 bowl games, even though those bowl games were the Independence Bowl and the Birmingham Bowl. But did you know that?
I did not.
How impressed are you that they have won the Birmingham Bowl and the Independence Bowl?
I mean, the fact that they've been to and won, I mean, Texas can't say that.
See,
Kansas can't say that.
That's the rationale that they're using to defend him, to keep him coming back. And 12 of those wins were in the AAC. Oh, and Dana's record against teams with winning records is poor. It's way below 500. I mean, it's like 20%, if that. He hasn't won a game against a Big 12 team yet in his tenure at Houston. So you can spin it how you want to spin it.
You're right.
But if a team has a winning record, chances are Dana's lost to him in his time at Houston.
As Janet Jackson said, what have you done for me lately?
And see, that's what I think the UH supporters, the Dana supporters, are refusing to acknowledge. This is not personal, Kenitra. It's business. And I guess why I go back to, if the fans will no longer buy tickets to see the team play as long as he's head coach, then it's a sunk cost to keep him around. And the hope is not there. What's going to, Will, T.I., Clizelle, Miss Wanda, anybody watching us on social media, what should be the marketing slogan for next year if Dana comes back? Hey, year 2 can't be any worse than year 1.
All right.
This year we get it right. This year we got depth.
This year we want to win.
Oh, yeah, that's it. This year we want to win. This year the games are going to mean more. I don't know what to say, but Kenitra, have you learned for sure? Here's one. Whose house? Not ours. That's one. And the Rice Owls athletic program has capitalized on their win over the Cougs in football with their own Luv Ya Blue, Luv Ya Rice Owls merch. They've made available for purchase online, unlike the Cougs, who failed and dropped the ball so much. In spite of all that positivity they had when they had the Luv Ya Blue uniforms. Are they for sale? No, they're not for sale. Huh? Where can I buy it? You can't buy it.
So what was the point?
Rice has theirs. It had their game yesterday. It's on sale. It's online at the campus bookstores. All those things. And it may not look as cool as the Cougs blue uniforms, but they're available for purchase. Mm-hmm. They may not have the alumni fan base the size of UH, but it's available for purchase.
They're trying.
So it's just, oh my goodness gracious. All right, here we go. There's a slogan for next year. We don't want it. There's one. Ti with I've never seen such an embarrassment in all phases with U8 football. It's scary, and they need to clean house. They're not going to, but on Folks Talking Sports, I will talk football because I have other platforms where I can talk basketball. But here on FTS with KP, Miss Kennetra Pulliams of Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus. Media Day, Big 12 basketball tip-off is coming up. Will you be there?
I don't know yet.
So it still hasn't been determined yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me know once you find out.
Will
I'll
do.
be there. I'm going to say this to the folks who don't follow me on all the platforms on Houston Roundball Review on TikTok, Threads, and the Gram. Rockets Media Day is Monday, October 2nd. I'll be there. SWAC Media Day is October 3rd and 4th. I'll be there. American Media Day is October 9th. I'll be there. Big 12 Media Day, 2 days of that. I'll be there. Not too many outlets, especially the size of one entity, one person, can say that. So I'm trying to keep hitting that rock. So buy some Houston Roundball Review merch. Buy some Folks Talking Sports merch. Advertise on this show. You see that your ad here? A spot right there for you, up right corner there. You're going to become part of this show. Platforms are growing. I'm more and more popular on TikTok now. Me and my old self. I have to lean on the youngsters to help me out with some of the stuff. Won't be any dancing, Kennetra. Trust me on that.
That was my next question.
No.
I'm like, how many TikTok challenges have
I'm
you
not
done?
doing any of that. None of that. I may sing on my own platforms like this channel, things like that. I've done that. But I'm not dancing for anybody to film. Oh, but by the way, going back to the basketball possibility, will there be any cameras like filming that stuff?
At Big 12?
The media competition at the women's tournament in March?
If local outlets wanted to film, I mean, it's totally available because it was basically, it was at halftime of, was it the semifinal game? I think it was semifinal day. It was like at halftime because some people, if you were working locally, you maybe could not have attended both. So they did halftime of the first game, halftime of the second game.
So are y'all going to try to defend your title?
We'll see. I mean, it's totally possible.
Because I'd prefer y'all do that, because that way I'd be pretty confident you would not get out your camera and record any of my basketball exploits.
Well, I mean, if you're in the afternoon session, I mean, that there wouldn't be a conflict.
See, that didn't help me right there. I'm waiting on Will to chime in. Do it.
So what does UH do to signify the start of basketball season?
Well, in terms of like the event you described,
yeah,
not a lot. There's not like a Midnight Madness thing. There's
open practice, like anything.
There is an open practice. They already had the red and white game, and that was well attended. Surprisingly, it really was well attended, especially this year's. But it was in August before the team left for Australia. But it was very well attended, and I mean, like half the building was full. I was shocked. I was like, wow. But because it's basketball, they didn't worry about football games or anything.
Right. I'm gonna say, were there any giveaways? Was there
not for that one? I think 2 or 3 years ago they had some giveaways, but it's not as important or as big of a deal to Coach Sampson to have it be an event.
The pageantry,
right? Nothing like that. I'd like to see it get to that point.
Yeah,
it might happen under Kellen Sampson, not Kelvin Sampson,
right?
But
so because this was kind of started under Roy Williams, and it's just been continuation. So in addition to the team. I mean, like they do, like you think it was like NBA All-Star Weekend. They have the smoke show and the lasers and the lights and the da 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 da. Player introductions, scrimmages, talent showcases, skits. Then there's also a musical act. So this year it's Flo Rida.
Oh, okay.
Last year, DJ Diesel.
Okay.
Year before,
really? Okay.
Yeah. Year before, Run DMC.
A lot of older acts here, Kennetra.
Year before that, which many people have heard, Snoop Dogg.
I heard about that one. I remember that one.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's why they went safely to Run DMC after Snoop and his aerial acrobats.
Well, T.I. and Clizelle and Miss Wanda, one of them might have connections to top all of that.
Where's Paul
Beyonce
Wall?
to come in town? No. Get Beyonce to come to one of
these.
See,
she's in Kansas City tonight, ending the Renaissance tour.
She was here for
she did
2 or 3 shows there. I forget.
Yeah, like 2 shows. Then she went to New Orleans, and then she's finishing the Renaissance tour. So it's been buzzing.
Of course.
Good, because like it was rescheduled. It wasn't. She was supposed to finish in New Orleans. She was supposed to have been here mid-September, and then she pushed it back because the Chiefs are in New York tonight, playing the Jets, and so that made Arrowhead Stadium available. So the Renaissance tour is finishing here.
So Chris Pesman, probably know who Beyonce is, but anyway, that was a low blow. That was a cheap shot. I'm sorry, but get Beyonce at the whatever you want to call it for basketball tip-off season. Get Lizzo. She went to UH.
Right.
Paul Wall has done the coup chant. I know he has not performed, but there are enough Houston artists.
Where's Meg?
That's a good idea too. I'm going to refrain from saying any more comments before I get myself in trouble. That works too. There are UGK. No, that would not happen at all. Put that in the contract, what you can say and cannot say, and do or not do. But there are options.
Yeah, sure.
That's why I'm not sure Coach Kelvin Sams would be doing that. But see, this T.I. said it. Pairs and company too out of touch with that kind of thing anyway.
But but that's the thing. Like it's a huge recruiting.
Yes.
Weekend.
Yes.
So like not only, sometimes they can time it to where, late night will be on Friday, and then there's a football game a home football game that Saturday, and so you just kind of like 2 for 1. But
if they want to do it correctly, they could do it. They have enough.
If they wanted, if they had the will to.
Yes. And let the right folks like Lauren Sampson run it. Let the people in the men's basketball department run it, not the departments outside of men's basketball run it. And there's reasons for that. I could tell you those stories in face-to-face discussion. But we're going to wrap it up. KP, as always, my pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for taking time to join me here on the Folks Talking Sports. Willie Gibson is being a good husband. He is doing what smart people do. Happy wife, happy life. That's why he was not able to
happy
join
spouse,
us this evening.
Happy house.
All of that. He's doing the right thing, because he would have been joining us this evening. But hey, I understand.
Next time.
So, but yes, 2 weeks from today, ma'am, could you join me? That'd be 2 days before the basketball tip-off. Could you join me on the 15th of October?
I think I can do. I can make that happen.
Same time.
Sure.
That works. We can talk more hoops. I know the Cougs men's basketball team had an official visit from a player. Should have ended today. Went well. Have another official visit lined up with another player this coming weekend. Both of them are 6'8", 6'9", but different body frames. One is about 200. maybe, and other ones like 240. So different areas of basketball, but 4-star recruits.
Mhm.
Coach Sampson bringing them in, and unlike Holgorsen, Kelvin Sampson coaches up his staff, coaches up his players, and helps them get better.
Mhm.
So there we go. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us this evening on Folks Talking Sports. Almost tonight on this edition of Folks Talking Sports, episode 110 of Folks Talking Sports. Kennetra was one of the guests on episode 100. So she is a consistent contributor to FTS. I appreciate it very much.
My pleasure.
And she will not be a stranger. Again, Rockets Media Day is Monday, and then SWAC Tuesday and Wednesday, on and on and on. So just follow me on Houston Roundball Review on YouTube for content. Oh, before we go, Miss Pulliams.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Kevin Porter Jr. and that whole saga?
I just finished watching The Wiz, and what's one of the songs, one of the best movie soundtracks ever. Still holds up to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody bring me no bad news.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say.
Yeah. And that's really what that's been nothing but bad news. He won't be at Media Day tomorrow. No worries about that. He will not be in a Rocket uniform for a game probably ever again. No worries about that. Rockets are moving forward. Did you hear about Tilman Fertitta's comments about KPJ from April that have come back to bite him in the butt?
Did not.
At the Coach Udoka press conference, toward the end of the press conference, Tilman said on his own, let me see if I have the slide, because it'd be more impactful. I don't know if I could. Here we go, KP. Here we go. Here we go. In my 6 years of having this basketball team, there's no player that I've enjoyed more talking to off the court, even during the games, than Kevin Porter right here. I just want y'all to know that, because I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. No one asked him about that. No one prompted him about KPJ. KPJ was sitting in the front row for the press conference, the only Rocket player to attend the Coach Udoka press conference. Out of the clear blue, Tilman said those words. And now, months later, Tilman will not be at Media Day based on the schedule, and neither will Kevin Porter Jr. So what do you thought about those words from Tilman from way back in April?
Look, you are like Coach Prime. You got receipts.
Indeed, I do. Yep. Okay. Oh, there we go right there. Unsurprised to hear this. No wonder Hogo keeps getting a free pass. Well, on a happier note, I digress. Who does KU play this weekend? Are they off, or they have a game that's coming Saturday?
No, they're back at home playing UCF, one of the newcomers. Oh. So this season they'll play 3 of the 4 Big 12 newcomers. Only team they won't play is UH. So UCF will come here after that tough loss to Baylor.
Yes. After they blew that big lead, yes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't because of lack of depth.
No, I don't know why they couldn't finish, but you know.
But we shall see. KU versus UCF. Kind of curious to see how both teams respond in that game.
And the thing is, you know, Coach Leipold's weekly press conference is on Monday, so you know, it used to be on Tuesdays last year, and then we moved it to Monday because it's kind of hard to ask anything new or different because you just played yesterday. You get back like 10 o'clock last night. You get treatment. I mean, they're gonna ask about. Of course, you're gonna ask who's your starting quarterback.
Right.
How's Jalen's back? Have you seen him? Has he practiced? But you know, being that the press conference is at 11:15 Monday morning, there's really not a whole lot of new information to go on. And then players and coordinators talk on Tuesday. So then you have basically Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, to where there's no media availability. So you don't really have to answer questions about health status.
That's how UH does it. A typical week, Dana has his presser on Monday, and then staff, players, select players on Tuesday. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And I would not be surprised if they don't make any quarterback available on Tuesday. In fact, I know they won't, because they've already sent the list of who they're making available, and the quarterback's not listed.
Well, there we go. That's one reason. Another reason why I have Miss Pulliams on the shows is to bring a different perspective from outside of Houston. She covers KU athletics, just like Willie Gibson from Ohio, the Ohio State. Got to get other perspectives, other programs to see how they do things. Try to do that here on FTS and at Houston Roundball Review. Had a chance to interview Morgan Uber from The American and ESPN on Thursday. Branching out on these platforms. Kennetra, how can folks find you on social media?
You can find me on the platform formerly known as Twitter, at K Pulliams.
Thank you very much, as always, once again, for joining me. And we're going to put you in the calendar to come back in 2 weeks. And we're going to talk hoops. And that'll be after the event, right?
Yeah. So the event is it the 6th? Yeah, it's coming up this Friday.
So this Friday. Okay, I thought it was next Friday.
No, 13th. This Friday, because they're having kind of late night media day I think it's tomorrow, and then they started practice. They had the exhibition in Puerto Rico, and then football's home next week to play UCF. 3:00 on Fox, and then
All right. Well, if you haven't seen it already, I have a few clips, videos, comments from Ronald Huey, head coach for UH Women's Hoops, as well as Layla Blair and Brittany Onyeje. Clips are on Houston Roundball Review on YouTube, as well as on X, but more importantly, also on Instagram. And some of those are on TikTok, all at Houston Roundball Review. I'm trying to get with the youngsters. That's where they are. They're on Instagram and TikTok way more than I am. So
gotta do something different, right?
Yep.
Unless your
Thank you again. Well, yes. And on that great note, thank you very much. Great job with that. See you in 2 weeks. Everyone, T.I., Miss Wanda Polk, Will Knows. Let me see. Clezel, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us on this edition of Folks Talking Sports. The audio version will be on the audio platforms later on, so you can listen to it again. You can watch it, of course, on YouTube at Houston Roundball Review, and also the newly created Folks Talking Sports YouTube channel. So ultimately, at some point in the probably distant future, will be mainly on the Folks Talking Sports YouTube channel, whereas the Roundball Review channel will just be hoops. But that's down the line when I get those numbers up and subscribers. Planning ahead, Ms. Pulliams. Thank you again. See you in 2 weeks. Everybody, take care. And just follow the Houston Roundball Review on YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for content from Houston Rockets Media Day, which takes place tomorrow, Monday, October 2nd. Take care. Peace.